429 euros. Wow, now that is really a very aggressive price for the Pico 4. We had all thought that it would compete with the Quest Pro price-wise, but actually it is competing with the Quest 2, with the current generation of standalone VR headsets, but having the next-gen specs very similar to the Quest Pro, we believe. Now, that is exciting. You are wondering, of course, how good is the device? Now, I had the chance to try it out at Gamescom. I had a brief 30-minute slot, and in this video, I'm going to let you know everything that I learned about the device. So absolutely stay tuned, watch the whole video, because all of this goodness is coming up. Welcome back to MRTV. My name is Sebastian, and please hit the like and the subscribe on your way in if you're excited about virtual reality. Now, let's directly get into the content and let's talk about the specs before we get to my hands-on impressions. As it turns out, all the leaked specs were actually true. We do have a headset that is very close to those leaked Quest Pro specs, with the XR2 being the chipset that is being used, and with two panels that both have a resolution of 2160 by 2160 pixels. Very high resolution, just as high as those of the Reverb G2. Also very close to the Quest Pro are the pancake lenses that are being used. These clear lenses make it possible that the form factor is much smaller, so the whole package is much smaller and lighter than the Quest 2 and the Pico Neo 3 Link, and in my opinion, it looks really, really nice. The headset comes with a 5300 mAh battery that's in the back of the headset, and that actually does help with the comfort, and I will tell you about my hands-on impressions very, very soon. So in terms of battery life, we're looking at 2.5 till 3 hours on a single charge. Overall, we have 5 cameras on board, and 4 are meant for tracking, and 1 is the RGB Passthrough camera. And I will tell you how that looks in a moment. All right, let's get to my hands-on impressions now. How did I like the device? And again, very important, these are very early hands-on impressions. I didn't have enough time to give you a full-fledged review. This will, of course, happen here on the channel. So, how was my time with the device? Well, I really enjoyed it. First of all, let's talk about the comfort and the size of the device. So, of course, as you could tell already from the pictures and from the videos, everything is smaller now than the generation before of that. Much smaller and much nicer than the Quest 2, and also as compared to the Pico Neo 3 Link, this is simply a nicer device in terms of size and in terms of design. You still have that balanced design where the battery is in the back of the headset, just like in the Pico Neo 3 Link, and that is a great call. Now, the headset uses pancake lenses, those clear lenses that will allow manufacturers like Pico to decrease the size. Because of the optics, you now can simply have these smaller sizes, and that is really cool. Now, what first struck me when I was looking at those lenses, they are huge. It is like nearly ridiculous if you compare this next to, for example, the Meta Quest 2. Those lenses are big. And I first thought, hey, this must be some kind of optical illusion. Probably the eye box is small, and that's why those lenses look bigger. No, those lenses are truly bigger, and they are clear. So directly in terms of edge-to-edge clarity and in terms of sweet spot, that is absolutely fantastic, but I will talk about that later in this hands-on impression. So first of all, very nice design in my opinion, and comfort-wise, even though I could only check it for 20 minutes, I have a very, very good first impression. The device is lighter, something like 300 grams, and well, because it's perfectly balanced thanks to the battery being in the back, it felt very, very comfortable. And from this short time, I could tell you that yes, my first impression is that it's more comfortable than Quest 2 and also more comfortable than the Pico Neo 3 Link. Next, let's talk about the controllers. In my opinion, they look really elegant and way better than those of the predecessor. Also in terms of build quality, now they are finally on par with what Meta has to offer. For the Pico Neo 3 Link, I didn't have the same impression, and the build quality simply did not feel as good as the Meta competitor. But now with the Pico 4, we have this parity in terms of Meta Quest 2 versus Pico 4 as far as the controllers are concerned. And one thing is new, the controller ring. It's not anymore in the very front of the controllers, but it's now over the hand of the user. Something a bit similar to those PSVR 2 controllers. And the reason they did it like this is when you're getting close, when the two controllers are getting close, they will not touch each other anymore, thanks to this ring placement. And actually, that is true. I tried it out. Now, how do they feel? They feel just as good as the Meta Quest 2 controllers, in my opinion. And well, overall, they are really nice controllers. Now, in terms of tracking, it's still really good. They had already solved the tracking problem with the Pico Neo 3 Link, and also here with the Pico 4, tracking was absolutely great, just as good as with the Meta Quest 2. So for this, thumbs up. Now, let me walk you through my actual experience when I put on the Pico 4. So I put it on, and the first thing I saw was the pass-through mode. And this one really shocked me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So why? Because the pass-through mode was so shockingly good. First of all, high resolution, much better than what we've seen with the Quest 2, and in color, so full color RGB pass-through mode. And what I said in that first moment was, wow, that is simply as good as the pass-through mode of the Vario XR3, which cost thousands of dollars. So this device, being priced at 429 euros or 379 pounds, having a similar and comparable color pass-through as the Vario XR3 absolutely shocked me. Now, what was still better with the Vario XR3 is the feeling of 3D in that pass-through mode that I didn't quite get with the Pico 4, but simply to have this pass-through mode, which is just so much better than that of the Meta Quest 2, and then in color, it was absolutely amazing and shocking. And of course, you would use that color pass-through to set up your borders, and you would do that just as on the Pico Neo 3 Link or on the Meta Quest 2. So that was nice. I later asked them if they would also want to use that pass-through mode for some AR experiences or something like this, and they said they will allow developers to use it, which is, of course, good news. Now, once I had set up the boundaries, I was directly put into that familiar Pico home environment with that floating earth. And, well, the environment was familiar, but it was also a bit updated. So it's a new version that Pico is going to roll out with the launch of the Pico 4. And everything looked perfectly clear, very sharp. And yeah, I didn't have any problems with the sweet spot. I was directly in it. And again, those lenses are huge clear lenses, which will give you that beautiful sweet spot and that nice edge-to-edge clarity. So I was looking around, I saw that environment, it looked very clear, no screen door effect whatsoever, just a really good experience. And also, that is something that I was feeling with that new Pico 4 version. I didn't see any kind of distortions, something that people with the Pico 3 could still feel. Here it was just a really good experience that was very easy on my eyes. Now, as far as the FOV is concerned, I couldn't really see a huge difference as compared to the Pico Neo 3 Link or the Quest 2 or all these other devices. So it is okay. It didn't strike me as bad. It didn't strike me as better. It was just a nice experience. So again, very similar to Quest 2 and Pico Neo 3 Link. But that is a good thing because this smaller form factor could deliver the same FOVs or even a bit more if you look at the Pico specs, the official Pico specs. So that is really nice to see that these pancake optics can deliver an FOV that we've seen before, but with a much nicer form factor. So no surprises for the FOV, but I was in for a big surprise as far as IPD adjustment is concerned. I looked at the device in the beginning and, well, I couldn't see the IPD adjustment wheel. And my first thought was, oh no, oh my goodness, they're making a big mistake here if they really let that go. Anyways, so I was there and I was told, go to the settings menu. I could set up my IPD there in software. And yeah, I'm also not a big fan of software IPD adjustments like in the PSVR 1, right? So I went to that setting menu. I used the slider to put it to my 64 millimeters FOV, and then boom, the lenses automatically adjusted to my IPD, to that 64 millimeters IPD that I had just set up. So yes, they put a motor into this small form factor headset, and that was really mind-blowing in that moment. I had only seen this kind of motorized IPD adjustment in the Vario Aero. Again, a headset that is much, much more expensive than that 429 euros Pico 4. So really cool. And for all the people who are later going to probably get the Pico Pro for these business headset users, it will even have automatic IPD adjustment where you simply put it on and the eye tracking will take care of all the IPD adjustments. But for the Pico 4, for the normal one that consumers are going to get, simply setting it up once and then having it automatically put the lenses there, that was a great experience, and I'm glad that they made it like this. Now it was time for games. And in order to check out the tracking and the audio, I played Ragnarok, a music game that you will be familiar with. So in terms of tracking, everything worked just as good as we know it from the Quest 2 or the Pico Neo 3 Link. So absolutely fine. You can play your rhythm games and you won't have any problems with that. Now, in terms of audio, they said that the speakers are a huge improvement over the Pico Neo 3, but unfortunately, I couldn't really check that out because the noise at Gamescom was simply too loud. So I simply have to check it out once I got a unit here at the MRTV headquarters. But for sure I can tell you it was louder because I could hear the sound even though we had so much noise from Gamescom going on. In terms of visuals, I can tell you that the device delivered a really clear picture of the whole field of view, and that these visuals are the best visuals that you can get for a mobile VR headset for this price. For sure. And for many people, this is going to be the first VR experience, and it is going to be a great one. And I can't wait to check out, well, better looking games, like, for example, Red Matter and Red Matter 2. So that's something that I'm absolutely looking forward to check out. However, I can also tell you that the games were not using the full panel resolution. So while everything looked really great and you couldn't see any screen door effect, in my personal life, obviously, I have seen sharper PC VR experiences. However, for a standalone headset, these visuals are great. And unfortunately, I cannot yet comment on how good this will look like when streaming PC VR content using that dedicated Wi-Fi dongle that they're also selling, and that I think is a really cool idea. So, lots of things that we still have to check with the device, but the standalone visuals are just as good as you would expect for these panels. Next, I was able to try out Warplanes, and the game just ran as smooth as you would expect on the headset. I tried to analyze the colors, but the time was simply too short. However, I can tell you that colors looked nice, but you cannot expect true OLED blacks because, well, these are not OLED panels, but LCD panels. So that is something to keep in mind. And that's already where my short hands-on ended. So as you can tell, there's lots of more to be checked out, but I do have a good feeling for the headset. And well, for a price that is cheaper than the current generation of standalone headsets. You're getting a headset that, well, has next generation specs that might be very close to that of the Quest Pro, and I believe that this headset will be the obvious choice for many who want to jump into virtual reality for the first time. So that is exciting, and now Meta finally has real competition. All right, and that's actually everything I have for you for this first hands-on impressions video. Obviously, I will give you much more content once I have the device here at the MRTV headquarters. And that is something that you can look forward to if you are subscribed to the channel. Also, I would like to tell you, check out the MRTV Discord server. The link is down in the description of this video. Let's keep on discussing the device. Let's keep on talking about it. And for sure, if you have any questions about anything Pico or anything VR in general, the MRTV Discord server is a fantastic place to go. Now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about the Pico 4 and its 429 euros or 379 pound price? Is that something that will make you just spend it, just like an impulse buy? Or what are your general thoughts about the headset? Do leave your comment in the comment section. I'm so much looking forward to read all of your comments. Also, of course, if you've not yet subscribed to MRTV and if you don't want to miss all the Pico 4 content that is going to happen on the channel, absolutely subscribe and click on the bell button so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. And now I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode. Until then, bye-bye.